Hello everyone, Desert Gardener here, and this is part 8 of my year-long series of planting tomatoes and peppers in the desert. And this is planting day. So let's get started. So as I mentioned in my last video, you're going to want to plant right after your last frost date. Now if you don't know what that is, it's pretty simple to find out. Just go to any search engine, type in last frost date for and your zip code, and it'll give you a date. Now for me, it's April 15th. Now you may notice that I'm recording this on April 7th. The reason I do that is about a week before my last frost date, I'll go to Weather Underground and I'll look at the 10-day forecast. If it's clear, I go ahead and plant. If it's not, I'll only plant the things that I'm going to be planting in containers, which is my peppers. So I'm not going to be planting any tomatoes today. The reason being is because I can simply pick these up and bring these inside. Now to do that, all you're going to need is one of these planting trays or planter trays. Now these are made by Mainstay, and you can buy them at Walmart. I'll put a link to them down below so you can find them. They're relatively cheap, and you can just get the size that fits your container. And of course you're going to need containers. Now you've probably heard me talk a lot about these non-woven felt grow bags. I really think they are far superior than the old-fashioned round plastic ones. I've done a few videos on those. The grow bags are much better. Now, what are you going to put in it? Now, I recently did a whole video on potting soil, so I'll just link to that. But really quickly, what I've done here is I've put about 50% homemade compost and 50% really cheap generic potting mix. And then I add 1 cup of perlite for each gallon of material and 1 tablespoon of azomite for each 2 gallons of material. Now if you want to know why, again, I'll link to that full video down below, but this is just really quickly to get us started here. Now I've already filled this bag about 3/4 of the way full with my potting mix. And I have a little, let's see, this is a Santa Fe Grand. I'm going to squeeze a little bit on each side. And I'm going to turn it over. You don't want to squeeze the stem or do any damage to the plant, but if you turn it upside down, it'll usually pop right out. I'll put it right in the middle there. And I'm going to add some more potting mix around the side. There we go. I'm going to pat it down just a little bit. And I've got it filled up to about here, in case you can't see it from the camera angle. So it gives me about 1 inch or 2 to water and do things like that. Now you're also going to notice that over time, compost is going to continue to break down. So you'll notice this level is going to start getting lower over time. So what I like to do is after a couple of months, when it starts to get warm and I see that level start to drop, I'll then add some more potting mix to it to fill it back up, and then I'll put a layer of wood chips over the top. This will do 3 things. This will give the plant some more nutrients. It will give it some more space to grow, and the wood chips will keep everything cool. So it'll keep those roots nice and cool. Now you may notice this is a 3-gallon pot. Most people will recommend for peppers that you do a minimum of 5 gallons. 5 gallons works. 3 gallons is kind of pushing it, but to keep the cost down, I go with the 3 gallons. I have to use less potting mix. The containers themselves are cheaper this way too. And I'll link to these. I purchased these on Temu. They're only about $2 a piece in the 3-gallon size, and about $8 a piece if you buy them directly from Smart Pots, in case you want the USAID made versions. But I'll link to both so you can do either one. And then I'll simply put this on a table. As I've mentioned before, I really like to put all my peppers on tables in a nice sunny spot. That way it keeps everything waist height and it keeps the crawling insects away. And a couple months, I'm going to have peppers. So next week, we'll talk more about planting tomatoes. So if you got anything out of this video, all I ask is you hit the like button. You want to see the rest of the series, you'll have to subscribe. And if you missed the first 7, I'll have a link to the playlist at the end. See you then.